someday. But I get that taking a week off because whenever we had to do it before, it's not a bad thing. What are we up to? 26 followers, so it's growing. And we're live on Twitch. So we go immediately on Twitch. I'm looking at it right now. I'm pointing at the screen now. So it's that quick of a follow-up. But we get that notification so late. It's all good. Baby. Let's talk games. Do. Let's talk games. Do. Let's talk games. Do.
Go.
Still got nothing.
Yeah, I didn't get a notification. I pulled Twitch up and it said we were offline. And then I refreshed the page and there it was. So
No, we're always offline. Don't forget that.
Still no notification. I think that just takes a minute. Maybe that keeps you from having like the ins and outs. Like when we were testing Halo, we quit going to Twitch too. We were going to YouTube, but we stopped getting that constant notification. Let's talk games. Do. I do want to wait for the notification. Yeah, I got more energy tonight too than I did yesterday. Man, I got all geared up. I told you I was into Superman and Lois. I got all geared up Tuesday. Cleared the schedule, kids in the bed, got the bath. We're ready to go. And it's like 10 minutes till. And then I remember, it's like, they said it's no new episodes till like May 17th or some crazy shit. Oh my god.
No nude episodes?
No. Then I'm in that zone of I have nothing to do. I have nothing to do now.
notification.
That was us?
Yeah, plenty to do.
Yeah.
Cesar said weird science. I'm gonna go with. Oh, that was pretty good. Almost typed West End bots. I think that might have been better. Let's talk
Pet Shop Boy?
games. Yes. I like West End bots. Oh man, that could have been the show.
So right before we started, I got told that my son rickrolled
Yes.
Katie.
He's a man now. Brent, you have nothing left to do.
He just because like
hand him his certificate and shake his hand.
I had no hand in this. She was like, so he said, "Hey mom, I need help on my homework." So I go in there and he hands me his computer and then I go and look at it and it's dang Rick Astley.
Video's so good. Like,
is it 4K? Is it 4K 60 frames per second version? That's floating around too.
Like, how does that voice come out of him? And then you watch the bartender, and the bartender's looking up like, where's that coming from? This dude? West End Boys. Tyler's Girl says, is Thursday the new day? When a member is recovering, the schedule is subject to change.
All I heard was Brand New Day. Now it's
You
got Sting in my head.
Sting songs, man. You had me. Oh.
I don't know what my session is with Sting and the Police, man, but they always pop in my head, man.
We're in a buggy making it across this fucking field in PUBG. We got people raining down on us, and Cesar's just laughing and saying fields of gold. We're going across the fields of gold. This is happening. Oh. Then I was going through the catalog because he was on NPR. He's on Tiny Desk on NPR like last week or the week before. It was actually really good. He had an African singer on there, and I should know the guy's name, but he had adapted Englishman in New York to African in New York, and so they traded off stanzas, and it was really, really good. For all our Sting and Police fans out there, that's what you came to the podcast for.
Mm. That's what I'm known for, Sting and Police, and somehow I turn on the TV and I end up watching Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That was on, movie. Not the movie. The TV show was on upstairs. The kids are watching it right now.
No, TV show's good.
The live action?
Yes.
The M. Night Shyamalan?
Oh, man. Oof.
We're still two people.
Talking about how not to capture a spirit.
That
or
was a
something.
bust.
Oh,
Understatement of the year.
understatement. Yeah.
Does this work better if my... Is that a better angle downwards?
That's good.
Yeah, we can see your Atlanta Braves thing.
They lost today in extra innings. Another live update of the podcast table, which we're eventually going to use at some point.
Hey, man, I'm almost ready. I can be down there too now. Soon.
How would we do this, though? Would we just have the camera aimed at us and us talking?
Oh gosh.
You have the 360 camera for a reason, so.
I just remember that codec that I had to install to add that 360 video to YouTube. It took that like 30-second clip that I made, and it took like 30 minutes to render. It wasn't this PC, but it took fucking forever. And it's just me and Russell like walking around a Christmas tree with the thing sitting in the middle of the floor. It's still on YouTube.
That's
360 podcast.
We can recreate Puff Daddy and Mace music videos.
Are there any 360 podcasts where people are like sitting in the middle of the table looking around at people?
Unless you want to do it in VR.
Oh,
I wouldn't. It's bad enough looking at us in 1080p, 60 frames.
Oh god, 4K. Yeah.
You have the 4K camera.
I see the imperfections on his face.
It's too much. Take it back.
it was like the jump from analog to HD.
Did I actually mute? There we go. He's
nope,
there.
You're still on. Continue to say that stuff.
Do it live.
All right, we ready to go?
I don't even know what we're doing anymore. I forgot.
We usually just talk shit for a while.
Oh yeah.
Anything exciting happening outside of podcast?
I drove to work.
Good times.
Yeah.
Accomplishment.
Listen to music.
Like
not
Sting.
Best of Sting and the Police. Desert Rose.
Yep.
Is that the last reference you used? I think it was on the podcast.
I don't know, man. I talk too much Sting. I don't know why.
I talk too much
songs
Sting.
get stuck in my head. Don't stand so close to me. The stuff just pops in my head.
The drummer made the Spyro soundtrack, wasn't it? Wasn't it Stuart Copeland and the Police? And went on to do the soundtrack to Spyro the Dragon.
The banger that is. What I needed.
All right, we got 5 people. Welcome, 5. Y'all ready to get started?
Sorry we bothered you with our 1980s, early 90s music references.
What I was telling Brant, that's before you went, a trimming is due, and I think I'm going to drop it all the way down again. But I've been on a big Allman Brothers kick, so I was going to do since it's kind of thinner on the sides, I was just going to do the Dwayne Allman, where it's just like the lamb chops and the mustache, and that's it. Like the rest of this is clean. Brant was like, go do it right now. The bathroom's right there. I could have just done it while you were out. He's like, wait till Cesar comes back, and that's what he sees.
Yeah.
Welcome back. What?
I just would have been like, okay.
Wardrobe changes.
I worry about other things, so I'm like,
We got bigger fish to fry. He looks fine.
Now, if I came back and you were just singing Ramblin' Man, I'd be like, all right, let's go.
You would know. Then it would come together. You'd be like, oh, yeah, Dwayne Allman. I didn't know if it was Lemmy or Dwayne Allman, but now I'm there.
Then I would have pulled out the guitar and be like, let's just go.
I didn't even know Cesar played. Cesar's just pounding it out. Oh, shit.
Waiting for this day. I trained hard.
That'd be a whole new audience for us. The video game guitarist.
We'd probably get copyright or something.
Hey, man,
Brant assumes that we're going to be close enough musically to ping those filters or whatever they are.
Anything's possible.
Yeah. Cesar said Ramblin' Man. That probably put us in.
Immediately, we're already strike now. You got to sign in.
Put it up, please. Let it go up here. Let it go up here.
Brothers, I'll take it too. You guys send me a copy.
I'll frame the hell out of that shit.
Put it right next to the Beatles and Led
Marty
Zeppelin.
O'Donnell too for the Warthog song we used for like 30 minutes that one time.
Let's go.
Russell's last episode. All right, are we ready? We gotta go. Where do we go live at? Skype.
Let's do it.
Oh, almost hung up on
No
y'all. It's the
Skype.
same color button.
I would have shut down the
That's
PC.
it.
Well, we did our best.
I must have
All
pissed him off with the Allman Brothers thing.
Nope. I was like, well, that's cool, and I just would have went to bed.
Back to games.
Now I go to sleep.
Starting. Still got our 5 folks.
For now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 153 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier Allman Brothers tribute band and video game podcast. Come for the pre-production. Make sure you show up around 8 o'clock. You will catch all these bullshit references because they will not be explained later. You have to come early for that greatness. It's part of the benefit of our Patreon and Cesar's OnlyFans that he set up for us. Or fans only, as the missus keeps referring to it as.
Yeah, my Twitter handle will come soon.
There we
Don't
go.
worry. I'll make one.
Tonight,
Just for my account.
outside of your Allman Brothers and OnlyFans jokes, we have Xbox Indie Showcase came and went. We have updated info on PlayStation Store closure. It's not good stuff. Another Sony game gets movie adaptation. What could this be? There's a day one patch for Balan Wonderworld that addresses a major issue. Backwards compatible titles reach the cloud via Game Pass Ultimate. Brant, I'm not sure why you put this in here, but it says Sony patent shows trophy support for older titties. So I'm not sure why that's in there. And if maybe you spell titles so often that it autocorrects to titties, but we're going to go with it. I thought it was an April Fool's joke.
Obviously.
Why would you hold autocorrect
older titles for portrait?
Oh, the problem is autocorrecting to that. That's the problem. That means you
Right.
typed it in so
And
much.
my phone still says ducking for some reason when it knows better.
Mine does too, and I got so much on my phone. It hasn't. I'm waiting to the part where I mean to say duck and it puts fuck instead. So that's the day I
But
was
when
like,
do you
I
have to
finally
send
lived.
somebody duck and it's not correct? Hey, duck! Something's coming at you, duck. It still applies.
Watch out,
Something's
the
coming
fuck's
at you, fuck. It still works. All right, so we have your older titties for Sony patents.
500
That definitely says titles.
What are you looking at?
potent portables.
Are you kidding me, Brant? Are we looking at the same thing?
I had to log in too.
I
and
see an
I looked
L.
at it.
Yeah.
And last but not least, your April Games with Gold and PlayStation Plus titles. I'm Richard Bergman, joined tonight, of course, by Brant McKee.
Happy
Yes,
April
thank
Fools,
you, Brant,
y'all.
for throwing that in there.
Yes, you got us
us
all.
good.
Well done.
And Cesar Concepcion the second.
Oh,
He's here in the flesh. Cesar, we don't hear you as good. It's
I-
like it's coming from somewhere else all of a sudden.
It's coming from
Behind
behind
the
the
monitor.
monitor.
Are we getting slight interference?
How about now?
Give us more audio. Mic test, mic test.
Mic
It's
test.
about the same. It's like the eye test. A or B? 1 or 2? That's about the same.
All right, hold on. How does C sound?
Not as good as A or B. C's the
C
same.
doesn't sound any better.
It sounds like you're in the distance somehow.
Is there any? Is
I'm
there
going
a?
for distance, man. I'm going for speed.
It's not a Sting reference, at least.
Yeah.
That's better.
Still nothing?
But I know you're not going to stay leaned up like
There we
that.
go.
Nah.
Yeah, because I lean back, man.
Another music
Air
reference.
squad.
They never end. Sorry for the day late extra recording. Tyler's girl reached out to us on Twitch. We always have the chat up, so if you have any questions, bounce stuff off of us. But we probably need to get better at putting it out on Twitter or Instagram or something when we're going to change the schedule. But things come up, so sometimes we're early a day, sometimes we're late a day. I believe we're going to take off next week. It's going to be spring break in our area, so certain members of us are going to take advantage of that. There may be some sort of content. We don't know. Probably not. So count on no show next week, but you never know. A little bit of housekeeping before we get into the actual episode. Anybody got anything else to add?
No, man, I think you nailed it.
Sounds like you're even farther away. I'm not sure what it is.
I'm trying my hardest to
I don't
cause a
know
lot
what
of
it
pain and
is.
strife. How about now?
Decent-ish. Mic test, mic test.
Um,
Cesar's in
It's
the
all good.
distance. Still going,
I'm going for speed, man. I'm telling you.
Strike down. That's it. That's our case. Put it up there. Cake. We got Cake. We got Allman Brothers Cake and Marty O'Donnell.
Did I do enough music references
Possibly.
that I did it? Is it done?
Is that what it is? It's not just one. It's like a cumulative thing.
I think if we do so many music references, there's no way the
Or
algorithm
we
will
could
never
just
find us.
stream Guitar Hero
That's my
or something.
Or we
Would
could
that do
stream
us
Guitar
in?
Hero. I think
No,
because remember I tried to when it came out on PS4, I tried to do play online, and remember it just cuts out the music. It's just me just strumming in silence.
That's all it was. You beating
Nice.
the bar on the guitar.
Yeah. Because I think what was it I did? I think I did the drum game. I think I sent it to you, and it was supposed to be frozen. It was just me. It was just no music. Remember?
How long ago was this? Yeah.
It was been a while because you were like, I sent it to you. You're like, what the hell am I? What the hell is this? That's what you asked. Like, what is this?
Tsujin?
The good content we made years before we started doing a podcast. Like, man, we should be recording this madness. We should have this mania present for all to see. We didn't put this in news, but somebody got a takedown for reporting a leak, supposedly. I think it was an IGN leak, maybe, or something. But Activision, that's what it was.
And it was done like Gamer Rant or something like that, I believe.
He broke a news story, and they got taken down for a DMCA takedown for a story that he broke.
Wow. Or rumor.
I'm not how that works in journalism. Like, how does that work down? I guess a content strike's a content strike regardless, right?
Probably.
I don't know. They're still defining all that shit. Don't get jail time, Cesar. You could go to jail for your clicking the drum thing or the guitar thing. You better delete it if it's stored somewhere.
Sure. They're gonna send me to jail for that. Fine, whatever. For playing Frozen on.
Was it Frozen?
On that?
It was the Frozen song.
It was. Yeah. I think that's why I sent it to you, because I think that's when you know who was singing Frozen songs all the time.
This checks out. This timetable checks out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into proper news. New Xbox games. The biggest announcements from the Indie Showcase. This comes from Vic Hood and Adam Vijestica at Tech Radar. The Xbox Indie Game Showcase took place on March 26th. They showed off Exo Mecha, a free-to-play online competitive first-person shooter. The Ascent, a 4K co-op trailer. I didn't watch this show. Did this sneak up on me? I don't know any of these things. All right, somebody take this one.
It was like 4 hours of. I didn't watch it at all. I just waited for Twitter.
It was a very, very long show. I don't know anybody that really sat through the whole thing. But there are a lot of interesting indie titles. I encourage anybody listening to, kind of look through this show and look up some of these titles, because there are a lot of interesting things.
Oh yeah, this is a shit ton of games. They packed in this 4 hours.
And this goes over a lot. I mean, a lot of them are kind of your same kind of indie titles. I even I chose this because it was a condensed article, and then I even noticed when I was kind of reading through it, what is it? Was it this one? Yeah, they go through and talk about what's it? Omno and the Wild at Heart, and they basically have almost the same description when they talk about the gameplay. So I think even the person writing the article didn't 100% pay attention. But I mean, even among all these, interesting indie titles, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff: side-scrolling, retro-style games, racing games. They showed some Hello Neighbor 2. I
see Astria Ascending. Looks like a Final Fantasy type thing.
Yeah, Astria Ascending. Soup Pot, like a cooking sim. And of course, because these are indie titles, they're all going to have some kind of little quirky flair to them. Gosh, I know they showed the last or not.
My tab shut the
what was
bed.
it? Among Us.
Oh, that indie darling.
Okay.
Among Us.
Among Us. And
Their own exclusive, whatever there was.
oh no. Okay, there it goes. The article
Yeah,
went
my tab
out
shut
on
the
me.
bed too.
But
Did yours tell you that your iPhone might be affected by
No,
virus?
I didn't get that link.
but yeah, some of the big things. I mean, like Stalker 2, and a really big thing they focused on was that a lot of these, some of these are actually coming to multiple platforms. But it seemed like the majority of them are going to be coming to Xbox PC, and a lot of these indie titles will be day one Game Pass
Yeah, very
releases as
cool.
well.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited about Lawn Mowing Simulator.
Hell yeah.
Hey, I mean, you say that, but honestly, a lot of those simulation games are pure gold.
Because I don't do that enough every week.
I responded to that one when they announced it, and I said, okay, somebody play this. I'll watch you on Twitch and gauge your performance, and then you can come cut my grass.
Yeah, whoever's the best one
Rise to the top.
has the privilege to
the
come
top.
to your house
It's like
and cut your
tryouts.
grass. Well done, sir. It's like it's like the Dark
Virtual
Knight.
tryouts.
There we go. Leave a pencil on the table and say it's tryouts.
Oh yeah, that was a
limited
good
number of
scene.
spots.
That was a
good
golden movie.
But yeah, there are a lot of titles. Probably really
Stalker
too many
2,
to talk
yeah.
about. Honestly, it would take up the in almost the entire show here. But it's good to see, you know, all the bigger companies take interest in indie studios and, you know, give them a platform. And of course, you know, Microsoft started snatching up a lot of different indie studios and stuff, and this is kind of the first thing we've seen from Microsoft, and it's a lot. It is a lot of games that are
4-hour
be
shows a
coming
big
to them.
effort.
Probably the biggest. Yeah. Probably the biggest one they had since they started ID at Xbox. So, which is 3 years ago, maybe.
And they kind of led the way with their what was that, like Summer of Indies or something like that back in the day with Braid and things like that, and Shadow Complex.
Yep.
The old arcade days.
Remember when it had to be like under
When there was,
256 megs or something? Yeah.
250 meg limit. Well, what game broke that? There was a game there like because Sony was like, we don't care, and then they made Xbox.
I thought it was
rule.
Symphony of the Night. Was that not the one that broke the barrier?
I forgot
They
who
did
broke
it for one of them.
for now. Damn it.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh,
maybe it was Shadow Complex. Why did they do that? Did they want anybody with like the memory card, the arcade system, and the memory card to play?
It was for the people who didn't have a hard drive. So
yeah.
256 megs or whatever that was in there internally.
But then it got to
like
I think Halo 3 required the hard drive, so they priced themselves out of that, or they phased themselves out of that arcade model regardless.
Yeah.
We sold 2 of those arcades when they came out, so.
That's
you
how
bought
they
the
got
arcade
me.
with no hard drive?
I mean, that's how I kind of got into the ecosystem. At least I got the arcade that had barely any internal and had the little memory card, and then bought a hard drive.
I found an article when Brent was like 7 years old in 2008.
Holy shit!
Where they said they're upping the size from 150 megs to 350 megs
to accommodate what game did they say? Carcassonne.
It looks like Assault Heroes 2 is on the page or something like that.
What is that?
Huh.
I don't know. That was like a Microsoft weird game. I don't know. It doesn't say which game did it. It just says they were raising it. I'm looking for another article.
It being big news.
Before Brent
was a big deal. It was a big
2007. Brent was like 2 years old.
Brent, you got downgraded. You got downgraded from 7 to 2.
Oh man, my old ass. I was like 40 then. All right, let's see.
What are you in your 60s now?
2007.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I'm not sure. I can't find anything on here. Just all I see is like, hey, we're raising the limit, and here's the first games that take advantage of it. And like one of them was Boom Boom Rocket and 3D Ultra Mini Golf and Jetpack Refueled from Rare and Pinball FX. Then they raised the limit again when Brent turned 4 in 2009 to 2 gigs. So.
Oh no, that's when I graduated high school, sir.
2 gigs. Now look what we have. Now look at us.
Yeah, look at us now, man. We got Call of Duty Black Ops that takes up an entire hard drive, 1 terabyte.
Yeah.
Did we talk about that in news where it was like they no longer say that the Call of Duty experience fits on PS4?
No, I was laughing when they had the limited edition Call of Duty for PC on that NVM card that's 1 terabyte, and they're like, somebody was on Twitter like, you're telling me you can fit the OS and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War on that one hard drive? Bullshit, 1 terabyte.
I can't fit. I have that same bullshit SSD that we started off with. So sorry, it doesn't even fit Master Chief Collection, much less the OS.
No, I sent you that link. I upgraded, man. I got one of those Samsung Magicians, and then got an external adapter.
That's what I need to do.
My drive
Clone and swap.
So. I did it because remember our SSDs, the ones we have for those HPs. There's a one with a M notch and a B notch, I believe. Ours is like super old, and those are going obsolete. So I went ahead and just bought one because getting phased out for the Gen 4s. And
I need to do the same because it's got a terabyte hard disk in there, and I thought about just putting Master Chief on there, but for some reason, Game Pass games on PC, they have to be on the C drive. They can't be on another data drive at all. Because I did research on it and found that out, and I was like, how is that a thing? It has to be on your C drive.
It
does.
It sounds like Microsoft.
It's got to be on your C drive.
That's good old school Microsoft. It's like when I open up PowerShell, it's like Windows 98 all over again, 2nd edition.
All right, speaking of what we were doing in 2007, we talked about it a little bit last week, but Sony is officially closing its PlayStation Store for PS3 in July and Vita in August. This comes from The Verge and Tom Warren. So officially, Sony is closing PlayStation Store for PS3 on July 2nd, with the store shuttering for Vita devices on August 27th. The shutdown means you'll no longer be able to purchase digital copies of game or DLC for the PS3 and Vita. Sony's also removing the remaining purchase functionality for PSP on July 2nd. Thankfully, Tom notes you'll still be able to download and play previously purchased games, videos, and media content. The only things changing is that you won't be able to purchase new ones. In-game purchases will also stop after the stores are closed.
For now, you can download.
Now you sound perfect. Literally, you sound perfect.
Yeah, because I'm like all up on the mic, like
ASMR over there. Yeah,
so that's our rub your beard on the mic. We'll get more listeners. This is our path to greatness.
Or more. I'm dropping off
path
the
to victory.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's exclusive content. You got to pay for that shit.
So we dreaded this last week, and we had a little mini discussion on it. It's not worst case scenario because it's not a full Nintendo of cannot get to the store, cannot re-download.
You're not killing Mario.
Mario died, what, yesterday?
Yeah.
I love the article on CNN where people were panicking. I was like, what's happening?
What are you talking about?
People were emailing CNN like, did Mario really die? They saw so much in the news and Twitter and everything else.
They had to write an article
Public
on it.
execution. We've reached out to Nintendo for a statement on the death of Mario. Then I saw like Sonic on the outside of the. He's like, Mario died so that he may live.
Good, yes, good. Yamoto throwing stuff in the fire. Yes.
It was somebody's comic. Yes. You saw the same thing.
So yeah, Mike Judge or something like that. Looked like a Beavis and Butthead stuff. That one, and they also had the Suez Canal blockage from Sonic Adventure 1.
Holy shit, how are we covering all the best stories from the past week? The death of Mario, of course. Let's get back to the Sony story. The death of Mario, everybody should have fully researched already. I did buy Fire Emblem and got Russell to buy Fire Emblem before he goes away forever.
Yeah.
Hey man, I got the collector's edition, so
I did too, and those voucher codes will work. So
yeah. What's just kind of sucks about everything, I mean, it's just apparently devs were pretty blindsided by this because this is
We've been talking about Mario's been dying for months. What are you talking
Brent,
No.
Brent did a
Devs
180 back to the
for
actual story
like,
we were talking about.
yeah.
Brent, you threw us
the real
off
story.
by keeping us on track.
There's actual people that were still making content for the Vita, and even some that still do some things for the PS3. And I mean, obviously the PS3 still takes Blu-ray discs, so they said that Sony will still print physical
What are they still
PS3
making? What
discs.
PS3 games are still getting created?
I don't even know. I couldn't name you anything off the top because that even surprised me. I'm like, there's people still printing
when I read
for
that,
PS3,
I was like,
but
what new PS3 games are?
Limited Run printed some PS3 games.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think last year or year before they did print a few,
but that's
PS3
not enough
games.
of a news briefing to put the Howl of Pain of Cesar.
No, but I mean, up to I think I read something that it was up to about a week or 2 weeks ago. People could still contact Sony and get them to send dev kits for PS Vitas and stuff. Yeah, because people were still developing, and now all of a sudden they're saying,
Final PS3
those are the last two, the Oddworld games.
Yeah,
the Oddworld games. Yep, I do remember that.
That's a very specific case. That's not, hey, we're still making PS3 games.
Yeah.
I mean, because you got to remember they stopped printing PS2 earlier this year or late last year.
What games were those?
Yeah.
What was being made for those?
All the Atlas games,
right.
like Shin Megami
Personas.
Tyson, they're still printing those for $20 on Amazon. So once they're gone, they're gone. All the PS1 games are done too, and those are the ones that Square Enix has been selling for years.
Final Fantasy 9 and
Silverback ones,
we had that discussion on here.
Yeah, and you talked about this last week. I mean, it takes away people's ability to maybe delve into a series or purchase these games at a reasonable price, because most of the physical media for those PS2, PS3, PS1 titles are pretty dang high. But then you go and search them on the store, and they might be $5, they might be $7-10, something like that, and that's way more accessible and reasonable price wise than maybe a single game being $150.
You guys have any that you've circled that you need to get? I just have one in mind. Alundra is not in my PS1 collection. That's like a $120 to $150 game easy, with you get the map variants and all that kind of shit, but it's on PSN for $6, and that's a great way to play that game still. Is they did great work with that. It wasn't Virtual Console, they just called them PS1 Classics, right? That was PS1 so Classic, awesome. I remember like the Crash Bandicoot was the first one I bought. I think it was one of the first ones to come out, and there's no way to play those games anymore, and Jim Ryan is on record saying he doesn't really care about them, so.
Yeah, I think the only ones on my list is they got some old non-translated Japanese Arage ones on there that I got to pick up. So
non-translated Arage. We need to compare a list. Maybe that's not like show content list.
I got a whole bunch of erotic version digital novels you can buy. I'll get you a list.
Not a list for that, sir. A list. You can include that in your list.
Right?
No judgment. We'll all discuss. But maybe that's, unless everybody's like, hey, tell us what PSN games we should buy before the summer. Then we can maybe have a special on it and go down some.
The sad thing is, throughout the years, I bought a majority of them. So I don't really have any that I don't need. I think the only one that's screaming out to me that I need to buy is Grandia 3 for $10 and then Chula for $10.
Those are two big ones.
That was it. Yeah. For PS3, the PS2 classics.
How many were those? Are there a bunch of those? There's more of those than on PS4, right?
Yeah, but you had more of the unique ones on those, because I mean you can get Persona 3, you can get Persona 4.
Are they inexpensive?
Digitally on there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like $10. Yeah, I've
we
already
definitely need to come up with a list. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. I'm good, believe it or not. I mean, I even have all my Tales games digitally. I bought those when they were like $5 a couple years back. So I've been buying those as they were going on sale before they took the store away from us. I was using the old web-based thing to look at what I needed, and then they killed that over the last weekend. So I was like, oh, great. Now I just got to launch it natively from the console.
And
it's a pain in the ass to go through that PS2 store because it freezes. Yeah.
And when you go through your download list, it's a nightmare too.
Vita is the one that I'm more worried about, because a lot of these games are already expensive as is, and then once the digital copies are gone, it's going to be even more expensive to get those. It's going to be fucking Sega Saturn style prices.
It'll drive up those physical prices.
Mm-hmm.
Between Sony's outlook of, who wants to play these old games, and Nintendo's outlook of basically forced scarcity.
Yeah.
It's because I had read something today about, it was some kind of article talking about somebody that had actually interviewed a person that was in Nintendo's marketing and asked about the whole limiting
What'd they
to the
say? What was the
31st
answer to
kind
that?
of deal. And it was basically the whole reselling games. They notice a drop off after a
It's
certain
been out for
point.
6 months, and I think I saw 8.3 million copies. Why not keep selling that?
But the thing is if you basically create this forced scarcity, and you
It's
create
demand,
this
supply and demand. That's all. It is.
This fear of missing out, the whole FOMO thing, it drives people to make the decision of, well, if I don't buy it, I'm not going to be able to buy it later. Whereas, a game comes out, somebody puts it on their wish list or something, and then it may sit on their wish list for years and years and years, and they may buy it or they may not. But if you if you put an expiration date on it, that kind of puts that thought in their head where, like, I better choose whether I'm buying this or not, or else I am missing out.
I mean, there's an old saying from psychology. I forgot what it was, but where they ask somebody, like, there's two bins, and then there's one with 10 cookies and there's one with one cookie, and they ask them which cookie tastes better, and 9 times out of 10 they always said the one with one cookie. It's all about the scarcity. So if there's plentiful amount, it doesn't taste as good. But if there's only one left, it's the best cookie you ever had.
All right, to Brant's point, outside of the cookie analogy, which I really like, why also get rid of that digitally? It costs you nothing to have that thing sitting on that storefront. Walmart, fine. GameStop, fine. Best Buy, fine. You don't want that space, whatever. Let them sell through whatever. You're not going to make anymore. That's one thing. Digital, that's where I have an issue.
Yeah,
that storefront.
Do we really trust Nintendo digitally yet?
Yeah,
They've killed many a storefront, so
the really one they destroyed, I have hacked, so I can put whatever I want to on it. So that's what they force you to.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be everybody at some point. Yeah. So I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate. I understand. I mean, they're not selling those consoles anymore. So I mean, who's gonna? How are you gonna buy it if you can't sell them anymore?
I'm sure you're looking at the math, but I also think, like, we're still in a pandemic. There's still people at home. PS5s are not readily available. You can't just get one at a store. Even though I saw 8 in Best Buy today, they were like behind the thing with names on them. But I'm like, who gets these and doesn't come immediately pick them up? But whatever, that's beside the point.
Yeah.
But why take this? I mean, you can still re-download. So I guess it's just new stuff. Maybe this is just some small niche clientele, and they have the math and says.
I'm telling you now. I mean, I'll play devil's advocate. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's hurting it keeping up there, because I mean, eventually you'll make it sell at some point. But I don't know the math or the cost behind all maintaining that, and it's all about licensing. About I don't know how those developers are paying for those licensing for that stores, or we don't know all the math between it. It's not like Namco Bandai took down their own store from their own console, so with their own stuff. So, but. I mean,
the one thing about Nintendo is, I mean, at least I think possibly at some point there could be another way to obtain these games. I mean, it sucks that we get, finally the first localization of, even that Fire Emblem, and then it was even less time than Mario. I mean, it was up for
like December 5th or something.
3 months
is when it came out.
Yeah.
Hey. At this point, we got it.
Yeah.
At one point, we were never going to get it. I'm not even complaining.
And just like Star Fox 2, people have dumped that ROM onto an actual cartridge. So, you could pay $50 or $60 on eBay and get a non-official official copy of Fire Emblem for NES.
Like
and throw it in there. And I'm all on the repro train. I'm a big fan of repros.
At this point, I don't think we should leave it up to the publishers for preserving any of that stuff. So that's a given. So I don't know why we expect them to do it
Except
now.
just like our perversion episode from last week, Microsoft's been doing a great job at it somehow.
Yeah,
as best they can.
Yeah.
Not everything, but as best as they can, because they still run into licensing issues, and like I said, they've done what they could within what scope. So that's more than what any of them.
They also have
anybody else
one
has done.
generation less to keep up with that Sony does, and 4 generations on Nintendo less. So 3. I don't know.
but you know what Sony is doing? They're making a bunch of movies based on a bunch of their IPs.
Smash
Yes,
it. Carry on, good Brant.
that's what we need. What we need to get people in gaming, right?
Yeah,
good movie
I mean
adaptations.
they had.
Somebody watches this
Hopefully-
Uncharted,
hopefully
like,
good.
oh, where did this Uncharted came from? Like, let me tell you about these games. There's 4 of them.
I need to play
Holy
this
shit.
Sonic game.
I need to go buy this console now to play these 4 copies of Uncharted, and plus
I
4.5.
need to play a Sonic game and figure out why he needs these rings to bounce between different worlds. Because that's how it works.
I don't know the Sonic lore from the movie. I
It's
still have not
good.
watched the movie
It's
yet.
actually
So.
really good.
Look, I'm in this phase now where if it doesn't start with an A and ends with an anime at the end, I mean anime, I don't watch
Sonic
it.
anime.
So
It's got Jim Carrey in it.
that I might watch some Sonic X, maybe. How about Sonic
No
X?
live action for you currently.
I think the last live action movie I watched, and you already are aware of it, was the Ten Commandments
In 4K HDR.
in 4K
Moses,
HDR.
Moses.
Well, Cecil DeMille came out and explained to me why he took him 3 years to make this movie in the very beginning, which they cut out every year on ABC.
Really? There's like a director's cut brief in there?
Yes. I mean, they edited it for time, but there is a admission time where he comes out and addresses the crowd. So
Oh, Yul Brynner's so damn good in that movie. He only had one lung. Did you know that? He did The King and I and all that stuff. He had one
I can't
fucking
even.
lung.
What happened to
I
the other
can't
one?
remember. I can't remember if it was like lung cancer or something happened. Magnificent Seven, when he had one lung. It's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, Brant, what's the next PlayStation movie we're going to get based off a famous property like Sonic the Hedgehog or what was the first example?
Ratchet and
there we go.
Clank, or yeah,
I'm still waiting for them to make a live action version of Days Gone from Brant.
More on Days Gone later.
yeah. We are getting a Ghost of Tsushima movie based on the extremely popular game that both me and Cesar gave rave reviews to, and apparently I was trying to look for it because they added it.
There's a
There
blog
it is.
post at the bottom.
Sold more than 6.5 million copies. So I mean, and still I can't think about this game or talk about this game enough. It is a very, very good game, good looking game. Gameplay is solid, and the story is
not
amazing.
as many copies
So
as Mario
they're-
All Stars. Mario 3D All Stars.
Mario
The
3D
recently
All-Star.
departed, executed.
Oh
Nobody had to die for that, so I guess.
yeah,
I'm interested to see what this film was like because the game was already very film-like, right? Even having the black and white.
Yes.
Kuro, I'm gonna mess it up. Yep,
Kurosaki.
Kurosaki filter.
Hmm.
It's by the John Wick's Chad Stahelski in the director's seat, according to Deadline.
Yep, and the Sucker Punch themselves is attached as I think as producers, and there's
This game has really turned into a Sony
see.
filler, right? Between great sales, the whole
Yeah.
ambassadorship for those Sucker Punch crew members, and it's awesome. It's really taken off.
yeah, and there's of course there's not a lot of details right now, but I think this would do very, very well in a like with a movie adaptation. I think it's a
they do the
no-brainer.
story from the game. Can you condense that down to a 2-hour film? Or is it something in that universe? Or what do you think they do with that tale? Is it the next chapter?
Well, they do say they are very excited to bring a vision of Jin's story to the big screen. So what that means, if it's a condensed version of what was in the game, if it's something similar, or just kind of a new story, we again don't yet know. But I'm so far
Branch
already
down.
on board.
All right. This is the titty show? No, this is the titty episode. Titty news?
Wait, what?
News?
What's happening?
Famous titles.
This is Cesar telling us about his favorite
Brand is
game, Balan
smashing some
Wonderworld,
segues.
and how it flashed him those
Wow,
titties.
and there's that.
It's a game. It's called Balan Wonderworld. Not Your Body's a Wonderland or Balan Wonderland. And it gets this day one patch for the potential flashing bug. And that's pretty much it. I mean, they just pretty much came up there and say, hey, you have to have internet to fix this issue because it's not in the original game. And I know that is the biggest thing to take from this, because if somebody doesn't have internet, can't download the patch and suffers from epilepsy, can potentially have their health harm.
Yeah.
Jeopardy. So.
Yeah, it was a bug that wasn't caught, I guess, in testing or what have you. And it's I saw a clip that showed it, and it was pretty serious. I mean, even for me, I mean, I don't suffer from epilepsy, but I mean, it's very jarring even for anybody just to watch.
How do we have it? It seems like this is the article from The Verge points out that Liana Rupert from Game Informer is one that she talked about it too, but she also had an issue with Cyberpunk 2077 before they released a patch. How are we behind as a medium on these sort of, like, I can remember seeing like warnings before movies and TV shows as long as I can remember about seizures and bright lights and things like that. So how are we as a medium, how do we seem so far behind that it doesn't pop up? Or, I mean, they addressed it in a patch, but it seems like these things fall through the cracks when you could just go ahead and put that out there. Maybe they don't want to desensitize everybody. Like if it's at the start of every game, then you just sort of ignore it. But I mean, it's easy to say because we are not susceptible to this type thing, but this really messes up people. So I'm not.
I have seen it before on certain games. I can't, think of specifically any that come to mind, but I do remember seeing it on, certain games here and there.
I would imagine they would put it on those games when it's whatever that scene is intentful, and typically they do warnings then. If it's not intentful, then that means that's why they probably patch those.
I think the best thing about this is that they addressed it, so it's back in the news and people are talking about it again. So it's a warning for people, and it's it's something that even, I mean, we're not press or anything, but we're discussing it and we're talking about these options. And it seems like games, especially in this last generation, they took off with accessibility options. So I think this will be something that just gets looked at more and more and more and added. And aren't there like new review boards? Was that Microsoft saying they were going to start setting up things about accessibility and putting things through new screening processes and such? So again, and we stand by gaming's for everybody. So if it rules out, if there's something in there, a stimulus of some sort that rules out a group of people, that's a no-go. So they did address this, which is awesome. But as Cesar pointed out, you also have to have internet to get the day one patch. Yep. Might come to a time when something like this gets recalled. Hey, we can't have this game out there. We've discovered that it's and bad press can still be good press sometimes. So it's back in the news cycle. I saw user reviews were actually pretty good. Cesar, did you end up buying this? Okay.
I did not. Because I know at some point it's going to be...
I think it's going to be soon, and that's when we can start trading Tims comfortably, I think, and feeding our Tims.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I had seen was that it got oddly positive review bomb. And they were some interesting reviews if you went through and read They were kind of oddly worded, and it almost seemed like auto-generated text, just very positive. Like, I like games with atmosphere. That is this, and they are very good. Enjoyed playing such games.
The game is the great of the games.
Yeah, and
And what was it? What you saw what Gersman put on his Twitter, where he's like, it just has that level of your friend spent $120 and imported from Japan, so it's the greatest game it's ever made. Because like, there was no other way to play this game, and you spent so much money on it. They will validate it and defend it to the day. The
last time I blindly went on a game that seemed so bizarre like this, without even the media cycle, was Katamari. When the first Katamari came out for PS2, I bought it when it came out with my slim PS2. It was just $20, and I was like, all right. This game looks crazy. It was the store I ended up working at later on, but they were like, we just got this. We have no clue what this is. And I was like, sure, let's go. But I don't know if this game is Katamari level.
It's like a, they said it's very much like Sonic Adventure. So you take it for what it's will, because a lot of people would tell you Sonic Adventure it's not aged well. So within the last 20 years.
No. The last time I tried to play it. I mean, my experience with Sonic Adventure anyways is, let's play the first level and have the whale come crash over the bridge, and then I'm like, I played some Sonic Adventure. That was cool. Time to move on.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Sonic Adventure was good for the time it came out in 99, but it's rough to play
99.
Yeah.
Dreamcast day.
Unless you were in Japan, then you got it in 98, but it's in here or there.
That's crazy looking at those games that came out then, lined up with the year of 98, the greatness, and then you have the Dreamcast right alongside it. Like, pretty drastic.
Hey, Final Fantasy VIII still looked good when it came out in 98, so.
That's...
Except for that one dance
You're the best looking guy here. That's good art design, though, and we've talked about this on this podcast, but good art design is going to last. You know, that lasts forever. Just like Shrek 2 that my kids have been playing on Xbox. Moving on from Balan Wonderland world. Your body is a Balan Wonderland.
Your body is a Balan Wonderland.
Look at all those Tims.
This next article is from the Xbox Wire. They've added a bunch of backwards compatible titles to the Game Pass Cloud beta for Android, whatever that long ass title is. I want to try it out so bad, but I don't have a freaking Android phone. You're gonna get, there's a bunch of rare games included in there, but you're gonna get Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Double Dragon Neon, Fable 2, Fallout New Vegas, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, Gears of War Judgment, Jetpack Refueled. That's the second Jetpack reference in less than 30 minutes. Something's up.
Yep. It's what I'm here for.
We're gonna get a new Jetpack game.
We're bringing
Jetpack
it
2.
Cameo, Perfect Dark Zero, Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. That's interesting. Viva Pinata with touch controls, and Viva Pinata Tip. What is that? Trouble in Paradise? Figured it's not tip. Just the Viva tip. Pinata, just the tip. Touch controls enabled. Branch, you can. We're leaving that one alone. You could try all those games on Game Pass Ultimate for cloud, for Android, for beta.
Super excited about Double Dragon
Neon.
I was about to say the only one that Cesar cares about is Double Dragon.
I hope you find somebody to play with you on an Android phone. Do you have one that still runs it?
I have
mini. You have one that can run the Game Pass Cloud Double Dragon. You find some rando online.
I got 4 of them. I could be playing with myself.
Oh, and we're done here with that. Next up. This is the title story that Brant tried to put in there.
Hey, man, you set them up. I just
That's
finished
true.
Them, so.
That's what we do here. We're a collaborative podcast. This comes from Push Square. I did not read this article. If somebody else wants to grab this one.
So all this is that it came kind of on the heels of the announcement of the, I guess at that point it was just a rumor, of the PS3, Vita, PSP storefront closings, but people had done some digging and they found some patents and had them post to Reddit, and they had found a Sony patent that allows trophy trigger is detected during emulation of the game by comparing a memory value of the emulated game to a predetermined value and assigning one or more trophies to the user based on detected trophy trigger. So, with that being said,
Does that make sense to everybody?
had a similar
Mm-hmm.
patent when they added trophy support for certain PS2 titles when they added those to
Right.
that PS Now. So closing one storefront and then having another patent for basically something similar kind of made people think that this may hint to hopefully more legacy titles or the older
Jim Ryan
titles
doesn't play.
coming to that nobody wants to play anyway, so why would they give them that trophy support? But hopefully this does mean that we might get some added support for I mean, even if they were to add PSP to PS Now or something like that, add some of those games.
Maybe that's some way
to that PS
legacy
Now.
is preserved.
We can only hope.
Nintendo's doing the same
And-
thing with that Nintendo Online.
Yeah,
I didn't
Nintendo
think of this.
Online. So we can only hope that maybe they invest a little bit more into that PS Now, because I've tried a little bit of it. It wasn't bad. I know you have to stream PS3 titles, and
You
that's
still have to? You can't
That's
download
mixed.
them anymore?
I think you're still saying that name wrong.
what.
I don't know. You didn't call it titles.
Famous titles.
But yeah, I know you could download PS2 and PS1. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you still had to stream PS3.
That is correct. Yeah, I mean you're basically streaming a whatever they have set up on the other end that's running that game.
Yeah.
So,
PS3 it can be emulated, but you usually have to have pretty decent hardware. And
let's be honest, Sony's not going to pay money to figure out a way to emulate it on the PS5.
yeah,
so.
Sony's not gonna.
Unless it's going to bring them a lot of
Invest in
money.
that.
At this point, they're like, it's not going to do it for them. So
It's easier for them to remaster a
There we go,
PS3 title and re-release it.
I mean, how are we going to remaster something where they lost code on? So
I thought the Final Fantasy VIII was one of those. Didn't they remaster that one without the code?
they
Yeah.
had
And
to
that just
reverse
came to
engineer. They had to reverse engineer the PlayStation version, and they paid
That's
a
the
lot
one
of
they
money to
did?
do it.
Ah.
Yeah,
I was wondering what the source for that was.
it's the same thing. Like they just finally ran that article in the Ninja Gaiden one. They would have to pay a lot of money to reverse engineer the Xbox ones, and the
Yeah,
guy
we
was like,
talked
"We're not
about
doing
that
that."
last week. They
So.
lost, and then I read about it. It was like they lost Ninja Gaiden Black and Ninja Gaiden 2, like you were saying. Lost!
And what that and the online component, and we were like, we're not gonna fix the online component. That's why they cut it out of the.
What was the
remasters
online
too, so.
component? Co-op?
I don't remember what it was, but well, I think it was something unique. I think one of them was like
Speaking of famous titles, you could play as Rachel in that one.
with the I'm gonna stop there. We're not crossing that bridge.
But
How about
I mean,
them King of Fighters? 97 was a good year.
could either of you imagine in your job like somebody coming to you and being like, "Hey, do you remember you did this 2-3 years ago? You know, I actually need to see some of your work on that. If you could just pull that up," and you just go,
We've
"I
lost it.
lost it. Sorry."
And my job is required for me to lose work after certain time periods because we do not have company space
Wow.
for that. I'm not lying. So we have a set time limit on certain aspects of my job that automatically deletes
So
itself
sorry you
after
weren't
3
supposed
years.
to tell listeners you work for Square Enix.
Wow.
Now we have a conflict of interest in the show. Or Koei Tecmo.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. I deleted Final Fantasy VIII. I didn't understand the ending. I was mad.
I was mad. It was an anger oration.
I was like, oh, if I can't understand it, nobody else can have it. And delete.
I'll deflect them with articles of teenage angst.
Yes, and then I'll just keep bringing up Final Fantasy X. They'll just forget.
All right.
And then Blitzball this, Blitzball that.
That's our older title. So basically, the patent will inject code in a certain value saying, if you reach level so-and-so or you throw a grenade up into so-and-so, then you could trip it.
It's very specific.
Hey, I was just thinking of examples. That's how I wanted to paint my picture. This is our podcast.
I'll never forget that. I'm going to have nightmares of that. Throw my grenade and I'll unlock a trophy.
Up into something. The belly of the beast. All right. Let's get on with these garbage games with gold again.
Starts with a G, ends with a G.
They
Let's
sucked
go.
last month.
Yeah, these were bad. These are the worst. These are way worse than last month.
Is it literally just called Truck Racing? Or Truck Racing Championship?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, get out of here with that copy of Vikings that you've been trying to buy for so long. We can finally play it.
I've been all over it. Oh, that is that Diablo one. Hey, wait, this month is looking good.
I'm not joking. You're sitting there joking around. That's. I remember you were like on eBay. You're like, all right, $13 is my price, and somebody outbid you. Like, nope, I tried. That's what you sent me. I'm not going above $13.
They priced me out of it.
You let me know. You put out there, it's like, hey, if it stays here, me and you be playing this game. I remember you messaged me back. Nope, somebody beat my price. Sorry, man.
Vikings of Midgard. I thought it was Asgard. So anyways.
This could be it too. You won't know till we play.
I got priced out on one eBay bin. I was like, fuck this game.
It was like $1. You didn't even fight back for $1. You suck. It wasn't even like $5. It was like $1. You're like, I tried. I was like, man.
I decided it wasn't worth it. I think.
And we also got the good version of the Rocketeer also.
I think what it was doing. No, that is not the good version of the Rocketeer. I think what it was doing is I was trying to save myself a trip to GameStop. I didn't want to go to fucking GameStop. So I looked at the price I could get it for there, and I was like, nope, not doing it. What is this shit called? I'm going to look it up and see what it is now. See if I can get that game. And see if I can right my wrong that I did to SSR 4 years ago.
Yeah, we never talked about it since. I just remember because I was just like, yeah, I bought this game. I brought it up somewhere.
$16. I'm not spending.
Why would it's free?
We can play it on Xbox if we feel so inclined. It must have been coming off my Diablo kick. Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah. Because I explained to you it was like Diablo, and you're like, okay. And you were like looking into it, and I just remember we never brought it up ever again.
Bid on eBay.
I just remember it's like, I tried, and just gave up $1.
Okay, so we talked way more about this story than I thought we were going to. This is actually the best games with gold month we've ever had. For Xbox One titles from April 1st through 30th, so the whole month you get Vikings, Wolves of Midgard.
And then you have a Renee Simulator.
Wait, does he race him? I thought he just drove him safely.
I don't know, man. Maybe this happened. And then we
have
the
show, Renee,
Rocketeer,
of course, co-sponsor of Truck Racing Championship from April 16th to May 15th. And then what about Rocketeer? Go ahead, Rocketeer Simulator.
The good Rocketeer. And then I guess a somewhat decent, the only good game of the month in my opinion, which is the game that's called Contra that we're not going to call Contra.
Hardcore: Uprising. The game before that was Dark Void, which is the Rocketeer Simulator. Very hyped by Capcom.
Something Sinclair.
What was that?
What was it? What was his name? Sinclair?
Neville Sinclair. Was Timothy Dalton.
Neville Sinclair.
Cliff Secord was the name of the Rocketeer.
Cliff.
That guy signed on for a 3-movie deal, and it bombed so bad they cut him out of. They never made the other 2, and the movie was so fucking good.
It was good. Yep. You know who directed
it?
It's the same guy. Yeah, same guy who directed.
I'm deep
Captain
in
America,
Rocketeer lore, sir.
Yes.
I know all these names.
That's why they brought him on for Captain America. Was because of Rocketeer.
The cartoon is actually pretty good. There's a new generation cartoon where it's a young female Rocketeer. It's actually quite good.
And your full shit, the one on the NES game.
It's trash.
Classic.
That is one of the few games you had, apparently, and you had to be good at that game, and you told yourself it's good.
It was wonderful. It was like the next version of a Double Dragon for me.
Enough said. Anybody who knows our podcast know what that means. Is there a game B where you can kick Timothy Dalton off the blimp when you're supposed to be playing co-op?
I'm making it right now in Unity.
I'm recreating Rocketeer NES in Unity. Oh,
If they won't remaster it, I
coming
fucking
soon
will.
to limited run.
Oh Lord.
Holy shit. All right, your last game was the Contra non-Contra Hardcore Uprising, April 16th to April 30th. All right, so it's not that bad. I wouldn't pick those 4 games.
We brought it back.
Yeah.
We brought it back.
Yeah. We made it good.
We're getting ready to skip over PlayStation Plus. We brought it back.
No, that's not bad. PlayStation Plus is good.
I mean, we're getting ready to skip over.
No, we're not going to
because
it features Brant's all-time favorite game. He never has to reach for it again because he'll have a digital copy.
Which we're going to get a live-action version of it soon, hopefully.
Probably.
It seemed like it would
Most
make a good
likely.
TV show, right?
I mean, we're just going to call it Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy with zombies.
Days Gone and
Meets Walking Dead.
It.
Pretty much.
No, we're just going to retool Sons of Anarchy and just put Days Gone in front of it, and nobody will know the difference.
And
Probably.
just make that the new placard at the start of every Sons of Anarchy episode. Just says Days Gone.
Days Gone. But I've been watching this for 4 seasons. There's not a damn zombie in this thing.
I remember this differently.
Yeah, there's this drug trafficking everywhere, and so many people are dying.
And no zombies. I was promised zombies.
No zombie.
Of course, you're getting Days Gone, which I thought was in that PlayStation collection. Is it not? Okay.
It is.
PS4 people are getting Days Gone.
Okay, so it is not. Well, PS5 people get it automatically, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think somebody made a point that PS4 people are getting Days Gone. That's
Gotcha.
what they're doing.
Friend of the show, Charles, one of his favorite games of all time, apparently, Zombie Army 4. You're also going to get, the subtitle of that is Dead War. He says these are lots of fun. And also, your big headliner for PS5 is Oddworld Soulstorm, which I think is our most look forward to game for out of any one of these 2 lists. Oddworld's good stuff.
Depending how good it is, I may be acquiring a physical copy as well later on that summer.
I also
We'll
do
see.
not mind supporting. They did announce a physical version of this Oddworld Soulstorm title. I got a physical copy of New and Tasty after getting that one free on PlayStation Plus because the missus and I played so much of it. Follow me. We loved it. Also not in news. Those are your PlayStation Plus titles for April. Also not in news. They announced an Oddworld collection for Switch with all 3 titles on 1 cartridge today. So that was pretty exciting to see. I thought it was April Fool's joke, but they're like, nope. Microids is publishing that one.
I hate this time of year. This is the worst time of year for gaming.
Oh
news.
yeah, the Halo one duped us big time.
I don't know, man. I redeemed myself when I saw him put Halo 23. I'm so down on it. So
Yeah, you did. And then I saw the next. So Brant, well, if you're on Twitter,
I saw it and I was like, oh, I'm okay with it. And then I saw the 7 near the name. I was like, I'm still downloading Halo 23, so I'm all right.
So sorry, I tagged all of our Halo Brant. I tagged all of our Halo friends, and Kotaku picked up the tweet and reported that Halo Infinite was delayed. And then if you scroll down, the first reply for the tweet for Halo, it's 343 Industries, all this kind of stuff. But we're all like, all right, it's delayed. And friend of the show, Dale's like, well, that gives me time to save up for a series console. Like, we're like spinning our wheels trying to figure out what's happening. So I was like, yep, I'm fine with this. I'm downloading Halo 23 still from our chat. He said Halo 23. And then literally the next week by that same account.
I meant to put 3. Yeah, Halo 3, and I just hit the 2 before
Halo
3 and
23
enter.
is
I was like,
perfect.
shit. I was like, whatever. Y'all never let me
Perfect.
live it down after that.
But the next tweet from that obviously fake account, 343 Industries account, was for a vibrator of some kind. So it's like, all right, there we go. That's definitely not them.
Oh, I've added that into my mute word, so I don't ever see it ever again. So I missed that completely.
It was funny.
It's bad enough. If somebody, it's like whoever looks at my phone is like, why is there a mute for female vibrator in here? I'm like, you don't ask. That's what I'm gonna say. I got tired of seeing every post, and that's like the first advertised thing in there. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's funny that we got duped and then we all laughed about it, but Kotaku picked up the story and published it.
Yeah.
They got duped the worst. So, out of all of us,
They ran with that shit pretty fast.
yeah, because it's like Halo. I mean, it's like
Again,
God.
power your dreams. That's what I said on Twitter. Power your dreams.
3-page article on how I got delayed. I'm like,
Yeah. It was good. It looked like an official statement, and they did a good job with it. They got a lot of folks with it. But as soon as you look at the account, there's like 400 followers or something, and the symbol's like that fake verified check. It's like a 7 or something.
yeah, I think the Halo account did the whole Mad Max thing on there. Like, that's bait. The point up there, that's bait.
Follow us if you want actual official news. Follow me. All right, is that all the news, gentlemen?
That is.
I don't know. You tell me. Brent, you're the oracle, the master, the Beethoven of the news.
Titles.
Is there anything you want to spin from the symphony?
There's been some stuff today, but I think we'll discuss that. Ooh, we won't discuss that next week.
Was there? I haven't been paying attention. I've been busy with other aspects of my life. I think I missed all the news.
Nothing.
I kind of tuned out most of the news today, just because I'm like, I'll wait until tomorrow until like shit's verified.
I mean, was there really news today? Oh yeah, it's April 1st. I'm like, what news? I'm sitting here like, I think I ignored everything today.
Let's maybe I need like a minute and a half break until we get into games played. If I'm gonna lead off, or somebody else can lead off.
You're good.
I'll edit out the break, but just a breather real quick. All right.
That works for me because I probably will have to partake in
this. Just do no audio so I know when we're taking the break. I can cut it out like I did last week. My crotch break.
Ow! Oh! I gotta take a break too, so. Talk amongst yourself, Brent. Let the world know about your day. Let's fucking go. How the hell are we gonna have freeze warning, man? That's some bullshit.
I know, right?
And then be like 80 degrees next week. I'm gonna be dead.
Did you wind up getting a another controller for the Astro City?
Yes. I didn't. They sold out so fast, and luckily I got one in.
Jesus, you are not kidding. I ordered the Astro City and tried to add a controller, added them to the cart, and by the time I went to check out, controller was not available, and I had to go in the afternoon and buy. I like immediately added one to the cart and hit, continue, and then I was like, oh, let me add another one, and I just upped the number, and went back, and it was like, can't. It let me check out with one. It wouldn't let me get another.
I think they went back and afterwards and were like, we're gonna put a limit on this.
What are we buying?
Yeah.
Astro City controllers. I was able to get one.
Oh, you got one on the limited run?
Yeah, because I needed a controller and it was cheaper for me to buy it from them than it was to import one from Japan because it was like $50 from Japan. And it was like it ended up being like $39 from North Carolina, so I went with a cheaper option.
Yeah, they're on Play Asia right now for $39, but then you're probably still going to pay a little extra for shipping as well. So
yeah, they'll ship it to you on the boat. They'll get stuck in the Suez Canal. So
yeah, but I will probably eventually have to or want to get an extra one, and I guess that'll be my only choice. Be an import.
Now I got two. Yeah, so now I have two. I can continue to play with myself. Hey man, it's okay when I say it in the game in the context of playing video games.
Yep.
It's okay. I'll say it enough times where it's just normal for Richard. He's
Sure,
like,
let's
"Ah,
go.
okay."
That'd be the...
I chose options. I chose option C when I played
No.
Double Dragon.
You playing with yourself would be the title if I didn't already write down something else.
Yeah, because option C is pretty telling for playing with myself on Double Dragon.
All right, games played. Let's go. Games played solo. Or online solo. No, because I played some Sea of Thieves. No, I didn't play any Sea of Thieves. Played some Halo as usual. There's actually a new season coming out next week, I think it is. But I still haven't unlocked all the things from this season or the one before that. So for those people who play mad amounts of Halo, you got more stuff to go. I tried out, and I was sure I was going to forget this, but I tried out the Crash Bandicoot mobile game. Has anyone else played this or heard anything about it?
I saw that it was officially
It is
out.
officially out, and I'm like, let me try this out. It's free. It's Crash. What could go wrong? So,
Everything.
just
A
about.
lot.
It's one of those. It's an infinite runner, which I do enjoy those. They're not bad. They're enjoyable for phone games. I think that's kind of the best way to play. Like, what was that first? Was it called Jungle Run? I want to call it Jungle Hunt, but I think it was something Run. And they made a Tomb Raider themed one.
Temple
Run.
Run.
That's it. There you go. I always enjoyed that one. It was fun. And this plays along the same lines of that, where you have like 3 lanes that Crash is running down. I would say the first like 3 or 4 levels are all tutorials. Like, they will not let you fail. You can't run through crates to break them. You have to spin. So you have to tap it to spin. It won't just run through and destroy them. One of my big gripes, and I think I sent Cesar the Kotaku article that was addressing this after I saw it, the infinite jumping crates. Not only do you not like stop and keep jumping on them to get the Wampa fruit, you have to spin those too, and it's like it breaks the whole Crash. You know, the crates with the lines through them that aren't the regular crates.
Yep.
And it just, man, I played the first couple levels and I'm like, all right, they're gonna let me go the tutorial thing. I get the lanes. Basically, you have a hub world, and your sister Coco is sending you to each one of these hub worlds to defeat a certain tier of monster. So let's say, like the first world is, it's not Turtle Run, or maybe it's Turtle Beach. Does that sound right from Crash 2? It's Turtle something.
I don't know.
Turtle
sounds
Beach
like
is
some
headphones. It's not Turtle Beach. It's Turtle
Yeah.
something. It's very it's the callback of the jungle of Crash 2.
Sure, it's not Jungle Hijinks.
Fucking hell, I have to look this up now. It's not Jungle Hijinks. Crash.
Sure, it's not called Stop and Go.
Stop and Go Station. Turtle Woods. That's what it is.
We're just gonna keep naming
yeah.
the country levels.
Thanks, Cesar. Jungle Japes.
Should I keep doing that until we
Jungle
figure it out?
Japes. Stop and Go Station. Winky's Walkway. That's my favorite. I love Winky's Walkway.
Minecart
Carnage.
Carnage.
Grunty, was it Grunty something, right? What was it? Revenge or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
What's the underwater one? Aqua. Anyways, thank you, Cesar, for the Donkey Kong Country
Yeah.
levels. So she's sending you after, like, so you'll have a group of, there's so many systems in here. This is what sucks about it, because I ended up crafting at some point. So you have enemies that you have to take out in the Turtle Woods area, and it'll be there's 4 different bosses, right? And they'll be like level 1, level 1, level 1, level 2. And you have to have a certain amount of items to craft either a potion or a bomb to throw at the enemy at the end, which part of it sucks and part of it's actually kind of cool. So when you get to the end of the level of the runner of the 3 lanes, you'll have one of these bosses throwing stuff at you, and the fireballs come down the lane. So you have to time, how you're going to get to it. And then when you make it to that boss, there's no real encounter except for Crash will go into a throwing motion, and you'll have a slider where you have to tap. Cesar, it's literally the Blitz field goal mechanism. You'll have the slider going back and forth, and the boss is in the middle, and you have to tap your thing to throw the potion at them. So the first couple levels I did this, I'm like, okay, if this is the loop, that's fine. But then after the 3rd or 4th, like, tutorial style one, Coco's like, we can't send you back in because you have to have enough blank to make another potion. And I'm like, what? So you have to
What
go
does that
back
even
into
mean?
a level. In the crates, it's not just Wampa fruit. It's these pieces that you have to craft for these bombs. So, and everything is.
When do you
Go
get to the
ahead.
gotcha
What?
part? When do you get
Oh,
to the
that's the
gotcha
thing I
part?
sent you, wasn't it? So there's
I
membership levels that
Yeah.
you can buy to get these pieces to where you don't have you can subscribe to like a $3.99 weekly thing to keep you from having to farm
Oh,
these. You literally have to
No.
run the levels. Okay, so think
I pay less on Disney Plus
oh,
a
it's a
month than I would in
nightmare.
that shit if it was $3.99 a
It's a
week.
nightmare. Brand, I'll send you the same screenshot that I sent to Cesar. When you
Brent, you're the Crash Bandicoot fan. You pay the money. Let us know how it goes.
No.
Cesar.
No, I'm good.
I'll just keep playing. I'll just keep playing Coral Capers
Oh,
and
there
just
we
be happy.
go. Great.
Or Reptile Rumble, or Ropey Rampage.
Or Naughty's Nuts. Wasn't that the boss? Second. Very Naughty's Nuts.
Or Barrel Cannon Canyon.
Thank you, Cesar, for the Donkey Kong Country level callback from exactly 3.5 minutes ago.
Macho Man.
Stop.
Bouncy Bonanza.
Millstone. So you can
Treetop
actually.
Now.
Wasn't there like a rooftop rumble or something?
Vulture Culture.
Brant, that's where we stopped
Vulture
at, where you have to
culture.
jump across all the vultures. So you can subscribe to so you can subscribe to these weekly Jewel subscriptions that will keep you from having to farm. So you'll get jewels that will lead to the potions, or you can subscribe for just potions for a higher tier, so you can cut out the jewels.
What's your how many subscription tiers are there?
It was a nightmare. You saw it. I sent you that screenshot. It's garbage.
Oh. And then I know
Or
there's
you
cosmetics too. They
So
talked
when you
about
have to buy a
cosmetics.
potion to beat a boss for the run, which you can run these things infinitely, I guess, because you're just getting equipment. You either have to run those levels again to get the items, pay for them, or if you pay for the jewels, when you go to create a potion, it has a timer on it on a cooldown. But if you pay with some of those jewels that you've either accumulated or paid for, you cut down on the cooldown timer. Oh, I mean, this is brought to you by, this is Straight King. This is your Candy Crush company. They know what they're doing. So it's a good one of those, but I uninstalled. When I got behind the curtain and saw the wizard behind the curtain, I was like, nah. Because they could have had something here, but it's layered so deep in that predatory stuff. It's like, and I can't even, my kids love Crash, and they like the idea of mobile games. They like the idea of having the screen there, and they can flick their finger back and forth. It wasn't, we knew what games were, and then mobile was introduced to us. They've grown up with these side by side, where these are options, and we didn't have that, so it doesn't feel as alien to them as it does to us. And I'm like, here's a mobile Crash. Maybe this will be something they get into, and it's free and jump back and forth. Oh no, it's bad. It's a nightmare in there.
So you look at your credit card statement, you got subscription
900,000
fees
crystals just so they could create potions to keep fighting the same ant thing at the end of the boss or at the end of the level.
Then you just then you put them in front of the Super Nintendo and tell them to play Elevator Antics
or Double Dragon
over
with
and
Uncle
over again.
Cesar. The ultimate learning scenario. Here, play this.
They'll probably just beat me up instead. I'm like, why are you so good at this?
That's the only thing that can defeat you. Somebody's been playing games for 6 years and they just want to punch you.
And they'll probably just punch me and laugh about it too.
All right, so that's Crash Bandicoot. What was the name of this thing? I actually looked it up because I uninstalled it. Crash on the Run by King.
Yeah.
And I don't
Crash got the run.
Basically. Run on jewels. Run those Crash jewels.
Run the jewels, yep. Also another good one.
Music references nonstop on this podcast. Come for the game, stay for the music. So that's all I'm going to talk about that. I uninstalled it. I will not be playing any more Crash. I will not be showing it to my kids. I touched on Halo. In the past week, Ratchet and Clank, the 2016 PS4 classic now, I guess you could say, both got a PS5 update and was released for free on PSN as part of the Play at Home initiative. So I downloaded that after that patch came out. Brant was raving about this game last year. And as soon as I booted it up, I put like 3 hours into it, which I haven't been caught by a game like that in a long time. and it just plays so smooth. And it looks so good on my OLED. I sent Cesar a small capture, like a video of just panning the camera around. It plays amazingly. Brant, I know you were a big fan, man. Download that patch and give it another shot. It just, like, it finally clicked for me. And I don't want to say I'm a frame rate snob, but the weapon wheel and all that stuff clicked for me easily in this type of, like, butter smooth interaction. Because
if you keep saying smooth, I'm going to start playing Santana songs. You gotta stop.
with Rob Thomas in it. There's some famous titles on the front of that CD cover too, if I remember right.
It's another Brant CD. We got to ask him for his opinion on
but it's really, really good. I think I remember this bit before you find this mechanic, and he kind of acknowledges.
Don't worry, Brent. I think you were like 5 years old when the CD came out, so you're good.
Oh, smooth. Golly, I just remember that song being everywhere. You couldn't get away from it.
I think that's why I bought the single. I didn't even buy the album. I bought that single.
Another song like that? How bizarre.
Nah, it's not that bad. It wasn't in every commercial and every advertisement. That was one of those two in the same time period, as a matter of fact. I did buy that CD at Media Play. I bought that shit at Media Play. The album was good. It's not bad.
Did Andrew sell
you
that?
He might have to show Andrew. Would he have been there in 2001? Lou Bega. He might have been. That could have been his era. Or Strops.
All right. Another one's Shaggy. Was
also the same era. Well done, sir. You're pulling out the playlist.
Yeah. They're...
Stop. Well, like Brant said, Ratchet...
He can't even go.
What was that song? Butterfly? What was it? Oh, God, I forgot. What was Crazy Town? What was it? That's a good one, yeah.
Butterflies.
What was Butterfly? He's laughing at something. We don't even know what this is. We got 5 people watching the show.
He's trying.
It's called Crazy Town. Called Crazy Town Butterfly.
Yeah.
Come, my lady.
You're my butterfly.
You're my butterfly.
Yeah. There we go. All right, we remember this one. All right, Cesar, can we mute Cesar somehow? We're never gonna make it through this. I'm almost done talking about Ratchet and Clank.
I'm sorry. Just let the body sit.
Like Brent said last year, this game is really, really incredible. It's a lot of fun. They're always throwing new weapons at you, new scenarios, new platforming. I just did the part with Skid McMarks. There's some funny kind of almost fourth wall type things.
Skid McKenzie.
He's a skateboarder, and for some reason, the factory where he makes his shit has been taken over. So I'm trying to clean out the factory right now, but I just helped him with the sand sharks. I cleaned out all the sand sharks. Yeah.
Yep.
I died on that one after I had cleared out like 80 of them somehow. And I'm like, wait, where's my checkpoint? And there was none, so I had to redo that shit. And I was like, fuck this. I almost stopped. But I wasn't using the right weapon for those sand shark things. Like, I've got that disco ball that you can throw in the midst of stuff and it just pulses. That's
Ruvatron, baby.
And it pulses and kills things as it pulses.
Oh,
I'm not to that one. I know the one you're talking about where it makes them dance. This is some other pulse thing.
Yeah,
that's...
Was it called Virtual Insanity?
Essentially. But I wasn't using that. Because there's a bunch of enemies at one time, and I wasn't using that. So I died, and I was like, ah. But, because it took me a minute to figure out the health system. Because you don't really see it when something's hitting you. And then, like, certain things attack for way higher damage. So you're rolling along, you're at like 35 or 40, and you get hit twice with a ship or something, and all of a sudden you're up against the ropes, and it's like, wait, how did this happen? But because of the chaos of that game, and I had seen this in gameplay of A Rift Apart, the new PS5 one, it plays so how Cesar? How does it play? Yeah, so smooth. It plays so smooth that it's easier to tell what's going on. You don't get lost in the action. And I think that's kind of what they're showcasing with this update is like, hey, the new one's going to look like this and play like this. So that definitely did help it. But the humor's really good. Captain Quark's a total asshole. You can kind of see where the story's going. I played a good bit of the PS2 one, and this is probably my 4th time trying to play this one. And I've already gotten further in it than I ever did. So this is the update that if you were kind of holding off on. It's a lot of fun. The weapon wheel it makes more sense to me this time. Sometimes I was grappling with like, all right, I don't know what I assigned down there. I'm just punching random D-pad keys to try to figure out what I haven't run out of ammo on. Because this is the Resident Evil of Ratchet and Clank. You'll run out of ammo with a quickness and not have anything to refill it. But the humor's there. It looks like a freaking Pixar movie. I know people have been saying that for 3 generations now, but literally when you look at it, this is a showcase for a PS5 patch of a PS4 game done right, which that generation wasn't lacking really until towards the end where you started having the weird mid-step. I think Ratchet and Clank ran well on a regular PS4. And then it was one of those like 1080p HDR games that you could get by with a regular PS4. But this is definitely a showcase, and I think it wasn't Digital Foundry; it was somebody else that put in the work, kind of showcasing what they did with that patch. And Insomniac did a great job with it. I think it borrowed some of their Spider-Man technology. They injected some of that upscaling and things like that because they upscaled it to I don't think it's checkerboard. I didn't see that buzzword, but it's some sort of version of 4K. And the HDR and everything, the implementation is beautiful. I haven't seen any weird jaggies or anything. That game is really good. So Brant recommended it last year, and I can second Brant at this point. That's a badass game. It's not free anymore, is it? Is it off officially now?
As of
that
yesterday.
Sucks. I hate that I'm just now talking
day.
about it today. But so what got added? What got added now? It's not Horizon yet. We got a week or two.
That's middle of this month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the 15th
But your
or
other
16th,
games
I
are in
believe.
there, like Moss and Paper Beast and
Astrobot, Rescue Mission.
So you got a bunch of other titles in there. But that's all I played this week. Ratchet's nothing old school. I'm getting a weird Metal Gear kick for some reason. If we were all together, I would make us play through Metal Gear Solid and record it just because I'm getting a weird Metal Gear phase kicking up again. I might restart my playthrough of 2 that I abandoned a year or 2 ago. 2 or 3 years ago. I think I talked about it on this podcast, didn't I?
Yeah, something about tankers.
Oh God, I love the
riding.
tanker.
And
who's riding? Wait, who's riding?
Ice cream guy. Ice cream guy.
Fat
what was
Man.
the name? Like, Fat Man or something.
Great job,
like that.
Kojima.
Yeah.
This is one of the greatest artists of our age. He's a visionary. He's brought video games to a new level. What's his boss's name? Fat Man. He's on roll.
Let's recreate the whole Shadow Moses on a tanker in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah. All right, but that's my games played. Who is next?
Mine's simple. I didn't play much this week. I think the only thing I've continued my bullshit run of Persona 5 Royal.
Which just reached its 1-year anniversary? Yeah.
1 year.
It seems way longer to me than
the only thing
but
different.
I guess that's just 2020 in a nutshell.
Yeah, I don't remember much of 2020. I mean, it seems like I'm still living 2020 on repeat, but it is what it is. 2020. Yeah, and I'm sure I'll like. Hopefully, if I'm lucky, and I think about 5 years later from now, I'll probably I don't remember any of that time. So long ago. Yeah. Outside of that, I mean, I think the only thing I've done differently is I went to Madarame's palace and Kanashiro's palace. I'm officially 1/3 of the way in the game, and I have 43 hours into it. So, I think it's gonna take me about 120 hours to beat this game. So,
that's
looking like that. Yeah, I'm only 1/3 of the way. Yeah, I'm only in the month of July. I got to go until the month of February. So, I think you start in the month of April. So, I just hit
following
July.
a guide or anything? Because I always that was like the social links and all that was like this weird barrier to me. Like I didn't want to play the game wrong, you know.
No, I'm just following it to a T, like the way I remember it. So I mean, because you literally have more days, and I mean, it's just when you start up the game, there literally is a graph that tells you to take your time.
So they give you hints of what to do. You're never like, all right, I guess I'm just going to sleep.
If you need help, there is an online component where you can pull up and they'll poll people who are playing online, and they'll show you the most common choice that they made that day.
That would help.
So if it was like hang out with somebody or go do this, you can see what everybody else did. So I mean, that's all depending. You just play the game is made to play the way you want to play it. So I don't think there's a way to play it wrong. I don't know yet because I don't know. I have to get the true ending. So But outside of that, I mean, nothing's really progressed too much in the story outside of the fact that they're the Phantom Thieves and they're starting to gain notoriety throughout the world. And now I'm at the point where in Futaba Sakurada's palace. I just started that one, and they're trying to steal her heart. And this is the first person that they have to steal their heart that is not entirely evil at all. They just have some psychological damage, and they're trying to navigate through that and how to do so. Because that person's not bad. It's just it's more problematic, and it changes up the way the game is played previously that it was done for the previous levels to add some variety and depth to it. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, when you go through the game, you have the palaces, and then which you have your basically your dungeons and your boss battles, like I mentioned previously. And as you mentioned on there, it's just the social aspects of the game where either you hang out with people, or you can play darts, you can play pool. I mean, you can do random shit in that game for whatever reason, however you want to play it. So there's not a wrong way to play it. So at least I know of. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I played this week. I'm just started doing that, playing the game just like that. I think when I played it 2 years ago, I was the same way. When I picked it up, I just kind of followed through until the end. So I'm sure I'll be after 120 hours, I'll be like, this game's too long. That's how it was last time. So when I got to 100 hours, and the original vanilla one. So. But yeah, that's it for me. It was a short week. I didn't really venture out much.
Young Brand, bring us home.
So let's see. This past week we finished Uncharted 2.
I forgot. What did you remember? I played a good bit of. Go ahead.
Yeah,
yep, I panicked.
So we finished Uncharted 2. We had gotten to the point. I didn't experience any crazy.
No
glitches.
People flying through the air.
Well, we were playing, yeah. But we finished the game. Last week they had kidnapped that old man Schaefer. And you find him, and he's I guess Lazarevich had stabbed him. And then he tells you there's a secret entrance to Shambhala in the monastery that you're in. So you have to find that. And then eventually, while you're going through, you start seeing all those weird random creatures running through and fighting Lazarevich's army.
They're like the snow. They're like abominable snowmen or something, right?
They're kind of. Yeah, they're crazy looking. And then you eventually get to the point where you get to the entrance, and then Lazarevich basically comes and gives you an incentive by basically threatening Chloe and Elena's life.
Yeah, forced incentive.
If you do not finish the puzzle and show him the way to Shambhala, so you wind up then going through and getting through the entrance. And then, of course, as right before you get in, there's more of those creatures that show up, and you have to kind of run around and survive as long as you can. And then eventually Lazarevich and his men come in and reveals that these people, that they're actually like kind of like people in like a suit, and that they're guardians just meant to feed on people's superstitions. But it still doesn't explain as to why they're so strong, why you've been trying to shoot them forever and they just don't die. And they're kind of like blue, purpley looking people. They almost look like they're orcs or something, otherworldly. And then you gain entrance into Shambhala, and Lazarevich says either way he wants you to witness him being able to go in, and then he's gonna kill you because he's crazy madman. But as soon as you get in, there's a bunch there's a bunch of those Guardian guys, and they start shooting. They have like these little crossbows, which are actually pretty dang powerful. Uh, and you run around. You eventually get to this part where you get on to like part of these ruins, and then the ruins come loose, and you're sliding, and you're having to fight some of those guardians that are there, as well as a couple of Lazarevich's men that have jumped on the little like platform with you as it's sliding down. And so eventually you get to the point where you decide you have to go ahead and hunt Lazarevich down and stop him, because he's after the Chintamani stone. But what it is if you like ingest it or something, you basically I wouldn't say like gain immortality, but it heals your injuries and all this. And I mean, Lazarevich is this crazy muscled up man, but he's got like all these weird scars. He's got like the side of his face has been messed up this entire time. So you realize he could become a monster. He could become powerful. And your goal is to find him, stop him, and destroy the Chintamani stone before he can do
whatever
what he
that
wants
stuff's doing to people. It'll put him over he'll make him the super shredder.
Yeah. So I mean, eventually you get
go ninja, go.
You get close, and then you run back into Harry, who at this point in the game has been shot and left by Lazarevich.
The guy from the beginning that double crossed you.
Yeah, he double crossed you. Now he's been double crossed himself. As soon as he led Lazarevich to where he needed to be, he shot him and left him to die. And also with a present, he while you're talking to him, he then like at the last minute reveals that he's holding a grenade that doesn't have a pin. And in the explosion, Elena winds up getting wounded, and so Nate tells Chloe, get her out of here. We need to, I'm still going to go after Lazarevich. And from there, you have that final battle where you run up on him, and that resin that you've seen throughout the game, you find out like as you're going through these ruins, it's actually like explosive. So he sees Lazarevich. Lazarevich, there's like basically like this liquid resin along with the big part of the I guess is the Chintamani stone, and he drinks from it, and he like all that like scarring and all that stuff just goes away. And so Nate comes and shoots a couple of the guys and blows up some of the resin, and then there's a big pit of it catches that stuff in the center on fire, and then the battle ensues where you basically just have to run from Lazarevich, and he chases you around. He's got his overpowered shotgun. He throws grenades at you and stuff, and you've got to basically just shoot these clumps of resin on the trees when he gets close enough to, and then explode them.
The bullshit boss battle, 85 grenades thrown at you.
Oh, yeah, and it goes through stages, and he gets more ridiculous. He gets faster. He winds up throwing like 3 or 4 grenades at you.
Oh,
at
it was
a time.
like 85. I counted.
Yeah,
it was me constantly running. I didn't even have time to shoot. I'm like, this is bullshit.
Oh yeah, trust me. That was my first platinum trophy because I love that game so much, and playing it on like expert or whatever it is, like
crushing.
It was
crushing.
It was nothing but like grenade, roll, grenade, roll. Like you didn't have any time to do hardly anything during that last boss fight. But you wind up getting him down, and he tries to appeal to you. He says, good, go ahead and finish me off. He's like, you'll see that you and I aren't so different. And Nate's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And Lazarevich kind of revels, and then he goes, "See, you don't have what it takes." And he goes, "No, I don't, but they do." And a bunch of those guardian things come down and like grab Lazarevich and just start like wailing on him. And I mean, it's like a dog pile, and they're all just beating the crap. And so you run out and you have to escape. And the last bit, like the city is like falling apart, crumbling. You barely make it off of, there's like basically a
I was
Crash
about to say it's
Bandicoot
like
part
Crash at
again
the
in
end,
this
isn't
game,
it? Yeah.
where yeah, you're running across this bridge, it's crumbling, you got to jump across as it's going, and then eventually you see Chloe, and um, you make it across, but then like the bridge crumbles, and then there's another guardian that jumps down, and you have to shoot him to save Chloe, and then eventually you almost fall off the thing, and she saves you, and then the rest is just you get up there, and it seems like Elena is gone, basically. It seems like she's dead. She's not responsive or anything, and so it becomes very dramatic. And Nate's like, "Come on, don't do this, Elena, don't do this." And then it kind of fast forward back to the village that Tenzin lives in, and they've given Schaefer a memorial, or not? Yeah, Schaefer a memorial, and they've buried him. Um, and Sully's there, and Chloe's there, and she uh, basically says her goodbye. And then Elena comes out, and she's injured, but she's doing good. And the end of the game is pretty funny with the back and forth between Elena and Nate jesting with each other, because she's like, how scared were you that I was gonna die? He goes, a 5. And she's all, a 5? A 5? Are you kidding me? She's like, what were those? What were those guardian things? He goes, an 8. She's like, so me dying's a 5. Those things are an 8. What? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's a 10? He goes, clowns. He's like, I
that
really hate
writing is such
clowns.
good
It's
stuff.
clowns. And it's pretty good. And that game is just, such a solid game. It's such a solid story. And eventually, I mean, he's gonna play number 3 as well. But I know I could tell he really enjoyed number
awesome.
2.
I knew 3 was really, really good. I played through it in probably 2 sittings. I still have yet to play 4, so maybe I'll jump on the 4 train when you guys play.
Oh, you need to jump on 4.
Good stuff.
Need to jump on 4. Other than that, I don't know names because I'm horrible with names, but you're gonna have to bear with me on that. But I've never played any of the Ori games, and I've gotten both of them for Switch. So I popped in the first one, Ori and the Blind Forest, and I'm playing through a bit of that. And I enjoy Metroidvanias. This definitely falls into that category. And for, a Microsoft studio, this definitely to me gives me more vibes of like Metroid, and with some Legend of Zelda elements kind of taken, because the whole thing is, Ori is this basically like a young piece of light made, from this great tree, and there's all sorts of these other spiritual, like spirit trees or whatever they are. And so the big tree, gives the life to all the forest, and eventually a big storm comes and separates Ori. And then Ori gets taken in by this creature that takes care of it and nurtures it. But eventually you figure out there was something that happened, and now all of the protecting light, all of the light that gives everything life and everything else, it was gone. Something's happened to it, and now you see this vibrant, colorful, life-filled world just kind of decay, and get these weird little
It's like a
blobby
shadow creature or
monsters and
something.
spiders and all these other things come in and just kind of overtake the world. And so then Ori, can hear these voices, and to me, it's like I said, it's much more Metroidvania or Metroid side for me. It feels like because you start uh, basically with nothing, and then you are constantly getting more and more upgrades, because every time you find one of these spirit trees, you gain part of its um, nature or
Yeah.
whatever. This tree,
Like it's aura or something.
had this, and it was it was known because for this attribute, and so that gives you that part of that. And so that's how you get your double jump and attacking and everything, and you get this little spirit, and the little spirit that follows you around is how you attack. It's nice because you wind up being able to kind of just save wherever, because you have like these blue orbs and then like green orbs, and the green orbs represent your health, and the blue orbs represent basically like some of your abilities, like the ability to be able to save and concentrate spirit, and also use like heavier attacks and things like that later on in the game. But yeah, you eventually you find out as you travel through what's happened, and there was the just giant owl, and it came and stole the light, and um, it scattered all of it, and it winds up being the light of the water and warmth and wind. So
The
now you've got
elements.
to go to all the different corners of you've got to go to all the different corners of the earth and or the forest, and gather all of these, basically find these special orbs and gain entrances to these sacred trees, basically go through what equates to like a temple or something. Because I ran through, and the first one you do is the water orb, because the water in the world
Poison.
it's poisoned. It's
I played this
you
years
can't
ago, and I
you
remember
can't
so
swim in
much of
it.
this somehow.
Um, but you wind up going through, and I'm like, it is kind of like Metroid meets a lot of Zelda elements, because I went through like a pre thing, and then I gained entrance to the tree of water, and then went through it, and it's basically like going through the temple, and um you get this interesting move where you can um
Paint the colors of the wind.
you can use enemies attacks to basically get more air, and like shoot off in different directions and things like that. And toward the very end of the or no, that is the end. um you free this tree of the like evil corruption that's in there, and you have to basically use that ability and kind of solve this puzzle to get around and rid the corruption. And as soon as you do, then it floods, and you've got to use that again to like get out as quick as you can.
Oh god, don't say flood. That's giving me nightmares.
Um, and then it restores that part of the world. So now like all the water is swimmable. There's like life in the water. There's fish and these other things. But this game, I mean, it's kind of like Hollow Knight in that respect, where you can sit down and start playing this game and kind of get lost in it, because it's the music, the
Atmosphere is
scenery,
second to none.
oh my gosh, it's
How does it
so
look and play
good,
on
and I
Switch?
haven't. Very, very good. I think they made a point to keep it at 60 frames. I believe.
It's a good port then.
But I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm not super far into it. I'm trying to get to the next area. I believe is the one for wind. So, and I got like
you said you did water, wind. What was it? Water. That was it. Water, wind.
I'm trying to get to where I need to go to do wind. I did water. There's wind, and then it's warmth. I think I remember it wasn't fire. They called it like warmth. I was like, we can't say
Wind,
water, wind,
earth.
and fire. Yeah.
Or before you start getting Captain Planet references or Avatar references.
Yeah.
So.
But it's a good one, and I mean, if you enjoy Metroidvanias,
Waterworld, I would have accepted Waterworld as another reference.
Waterworld.
Yeah. Everybody has gills somehow. Did they ever address that in that movie?
I don't think so remember.
No. But I can see I'm probably going to be playing this a little bit.
Or in the Blind Forest.
But I've also been between Cesar talking about Persona 5 and us talking about PS Vita. I've almost wanted to pop Persona 4 Golden in and test it out, see how that is. So I may do that, but
you never played it?
I'll see.
You should do it, man.
It's a good ass game.
No,
it's
never
my most
played
played Persona game.
You should do it. You might fuck around and beat that game.
Yeah, I've heard only good things. I've heard it's so awesome. Good. But you had one game that you had forgotten, Richard?
I talk about it just about every week, and then Best Buy had a sale on the Switch version, so I was like, let's go ahead and try it out. And I had this weird mystery $10 coupon, so it was actually pretty cheap. But Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, the remaster, I've talked about it. Like, it seems like every week I'm popping in and out of challenges and stuff. So I tried out the Switch version, and while it is a noticeable, like I see the jaggies and stuff like that, especially on the cars. When you unlock a car, when you look at it on PS4 or the PS5, the new patch, it's just like, okay, this looks perfect just about. You see the jaggies on there. I'm playing in handheld mode, but it's the game. The frame rate is 30 frames per second. It's solid. I never feel like, man, I could be playing this faster. It is the quintessential like PS4 to Switch downgrade, as it were. You were playing on a weaker piece of hardware, but it is the full experience. If that makes any sense. I do wish my challenges had carried over because I had unlocked quite a bunch of shit. But this game is so much fun and they throw so much variety at you. I do not care starting over. And I'm getting gold on a bunch of things that when I started off on PS4, I would get like the silver or bronze one on. So I can't hype that game enough. I think it's $20 right now on digital on PlayStation. So if you do not already have, and last week it was free on the free Xbox weekend or whatever they call those things, but cannot recommend enough Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remaster. It's good on Switch also. Can confirm. Some of the puddles are weird. Like you'll see the reflections change in the puddle as you're going past it. I know this is not Puddlegate 2.0, but you'll see some weird things going in the puddles where it's like, oh, okay, are you rendering something or are you guessing that you're rendering something? It's just a funky off thing, but the gameplay is still perfect. I made a couple of clips. I need to upload them on Twitter, but I made some funny clips of some weird shit that happens to me. For some reason, I only seem to do that I do it on Xbox now with that new share button, but I only seem to do those quick clips of weird shit that happens on Switch. I don't know if that's because I'm by myself and I'm like, I want other people to see it versus, playing on Halo and somebody get blown up next to me or whatever, but I just wanted to throw that one in there. I put my money where my mouth is. I usually don't double dip on a lot of stuff, but this was one of them. And it was already on sale, so that version told...
Double dip the chip?
Yep,
Double dip the
dip the chip on both ends. But that one is one worth doing. That is a good portable version of Hot Pursuit. And I will probably take that with me this next weekend. I'm going to be away from the house for a second, so I'll probably be taking that with me and unlocking some challenges.
You're doing it wrong. You should be taking Nobunaga's ambition
I'll
with
have
you.
that too, but Nobunaga's ambition doesn't have a speed wall. Meet me at the speed wall. We can compare scores.
That way, you can figure out how to get through there. Yeah. That way you can come back next week on the next time when we record, and you be like, so I'm not sure when he enters in Neo, and then when he shows up at Onimusha, I don't understand the Nobunaga storyline. Or when he starts doing Pokemon Conquest, and when he starts getting the Pokemon, I haven't gotten that far yet.
But I've downloaded a copy of that and 3 of the NES titles, and I'm trying to find out where they all connect. I'm just Always Sunny. I'm just connecting the board of Nobunaga.
At what point does Pokemon enter in this?
When does
in
the
this
Conquest
world?
crossover occur?
And yes, both Ori games are 1080 docked, 720 portable, 60
Nice.
frames a second for both.
That sounds native.
Nice. Very nice.
So they did very good on that.
That was
port.
one of those titles that Cesar and I saw and convinced us to try out the Xbox One. It was like, all right, this is some different shit. Here we go.
Rare Replay had nothing to do with it.
Replay had 60% to
Nothing
do with it.
Of course, no bullshit games are allowed. No bullshit games or board games.
Stream it, you coward.
I need to, man. I haven't had time, but yeah, at some point I'm just gonna go on there and do it. So, and I still can
bring us those Jaggies.
Don't know where I'm still trying to figure out where that damn thing is. I'm going to figure it out, and it's 15 minutes of me and just falling in the hot lava and dying out on my lives. I'm like, where's the damn board game?
I remember that slow somersault like backflip thing they'll do. Oh, I do that everywhere. Once you get that run ability, I just run everywhere.
Yeah.
All right.
I refuse to play that game again from
Amen to that.
I refuse.
Or you'll play like 2 hours. Maybe like me, you'll play 2 hours and you're like, all right, that's Banjo-Kazooie. I'm done with this. I saw what I needed to see.
I don't know. I will. One of my favorite streamers, and I showed you that video last time where she ended up playing 8 hours of Mega Man 1 to finally beat it. So 7 of those 8 hours are on the ice level.
Oh.
Better than me.
Maybe I might get the itch one day and just keep going until I actually beat it and just follow that person's lead. Yeah.
All right, we went over our 1 hour and 48-minute time slot. You guys got anything you want to add? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Yeah, smooth operator. Smooth operator.
See ya.
Sure. We're still streaming. Where's that button? I got 8 buttons to turn off.